We know it's important for law enforcement to have an advantage when it comes to fighting crime. As recent events prove, however, some practices are questionable at best, illegal, and potentially deadly at worst.
I call everybody my baby. You're like my son. And that's how, the only way that I can look at the community, as if they are blood related to me. And so that means that they trust me. So they trust me to hear what it is that they're saying.
Officer Carol Adams has been patrolling the streets of Richmond, Virginia for more than 20 years. She was personally and professionally horrified by the George Floyd killing.
Me as a mother, yes, outraged at what I saw. And we're really, really frustrated because we work really, really hard to build relationships with our community. And all it takes is one incident like that and so many others for everybody to lump us together.
It began with the video difficult to watch, yet unforgettable once seen.
Mama! Mama!
A police tactical hold, legal at the time in Minneapolis, that led to George Floyd's death.
Putting his knee on his neck and sitting there in a relatively calm position tells you he should have gotten off of it.
Mike Jones is a retired police chief and law enforcement consultant with more than 40 years' experience. He believes the arresting officer reaches a point of caretaker rather than enforcer.
And the minute a person is handcuffed, he becomes your personal responsibility as a police officer. You have to take care of that person.
The same pictures and chilling words had happened 6 years earlier as police held a black man in a chokehold. Eric Garner was arrested in New York City for illegally selling cigarettes, and he died after officers used the tactic already banned by their department. Reverend Markel Hutchins is a community activist based in Atlanta, Georgia.
So I do personally think chokeholds should be outlawed, and we should never again in America see a law enforcement professional put their knee on anyone's neck.
Another controversial tactic facing backlash, no-knock warrants. We've seen how they can go wrong, especially in Louisville, Kentucky, when police kicked in the door of Breonna Taylor's apartment, believing it was an illegal break-in because of no verbal identification from officers. Taylor's boyfriend fired his legally registered gun. Police responded with 20 rounds, killing 26-year-old Taylor. In 2006, Atlanta police rushed into the house of 92-year-old Katherine Johnston and shot her to death after she also fired her legally registered gun in fear. Turns out, police had the wrong house.
What ultimately killed Katherine Johnston was the lie that was told to obtain the no-knock warrant. So I think the key is making sure that there are legislative parameters and real restrictions and requirements placed on their usage.
Adams believes a big part of the answer lies in national standards like those recommended by the president's task force on 21st century policing, created after the police shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. The 2014 report focused on areas such as building trust and legitimacy, policy and oversight, community policing, training and education, and officers' wellness and safety.
So now it's time to make it something that everyone has to buy into, and every department should be regulated.
She admits, however, regulating policy is one thing, regulating the heart is another.
If an officer really sees both consciously and subconsciously the humanity in the person that they're policing, they simply wouldn't be able to put them in a chokehold.
It's also going to take an investment in the type of person that we bring into police work.
Dr. Patrick Oliver agrees. He is the director of the Criminal Justice Program at Cedarville University, a Christian college in Ohio. He says officers must be selected carefully.
And this job is only for people who are honorable men that love truth, who will judge rightly, and who will do what is right.
Those I spoke to say better training and more checks and balances will help lessen these deadly incidents that we've seen. They also say the standard has to be set and enforced from the top down. Eric Phillips, CBN News.